How are you?
Christie, I gotta get a picture.
Of course.
I used to work in New Jersey.
Where?
I loved it. I was all over. I did puppet shows at all the schools in New Jersey.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I loved it. But I really have to ask you, there is a, other candidates are talking about a quota to fulfill detention beds. There's prison companies contract. They lobby for contracts to fill 34,000 detention beds a night. And I want to know what you think of that.
Well, we've done kind of the opposite in New Jersey. We just signed last year big bail reform that gets more people out of prison. I think we have too many people in prison. I think for folks, especially folks who are non-violent folks, there's other ways to deal with this issue and not to do it.
What about the GEO Group and Corrections Corporation of America? They lobby for contracts to keep immigrants in detention beds, so they're profiting off of immigration.
There's no doubt that there are private operators who provide those type of services for folks around the country. And we've used private operators at times when we had a prison crisis in terms of our population. We don't have that anymore. And so we very rarely use private companies except in the context of providing drug treatment. So we contract with some private facilities that are secure facilities that also provide drug treatment at the same time.
So do you think that these companies should be making huge profits off of our immigration system?
Listen, it's hard to tell. It depends on what each state, what their level of crisis is in terms of they make decisions about whether to build new prisons or whether not to. And for some of them, they make the decision that using a private company is better. The question is less to me about what the profits are than is what is the need. And if there is a need and the taxpayers don't want to build more prisons and they want to use private facilities, well then the leaders in the state, in my opinion, should have the option to do that. But it should be based on what the need is in terms of the prison population, not on who's going to make how much money. The folks should decide in their state, do we have a need to build more prisons or not? If we don't, then we shouldn't. And if you want to use private facilities, you can.
But I guess what I'm getting at is the for-profit, the prison
I know what you want me to
pipeline.
say. I know what you want me to say, and I know that you're filming me and you want me to say stuff so that you can use it later. But that's not the way I answer questions. I know what you want. I'm giving you the answer that I believe. And if that's not great for the film, I'm sorry. But you're doing the best you can on it, and I love your persistence. But this is the answer I give. All right?
I love New Jersey.